Morey's philosophy as GM of that team is, look, when you're surveying the landscape, get the special players. Figure out the rest later. Like, to get special players on the same team. He's done that again. So they'll be good. But the question, will it work, is, will it work better than it did with CP3 to the point that the Rockets will be better than the Clippers, the Lakers, not to mention Denver, Utah, whoever at Portland in the West, which is very, very tough conference, even with the Golden State Warriors not there as the standard bearers at the moment because of the injuries and the defection of KD. So the answer to that is no. Westbrook, Harden on the Rockets is not better than Harden CP3 to the point that this team is now better than the Lakers or Clippers, which means they're not going to get any farther in the playoffs, which means it doesn't work.
See, I actually agree with that. I'm not going to place them above the Lakers. I'm not putting them above the Clippers. But from a competitive standpoint, you cannot rule out that talent level. And the big consensus is James Harden is a ball hawk. He plays too much isolation basketball. Russell Westbrook is wild. He's out of control. He shoots 29% from three. The guy can't get it done. When I look at Russell Westbrook had to do last season, he played Russell ball. There was no system. He did whatever he wanted. Fair to say, right? If he wanted to jack up an early three, if he wanted to take
Paul George
shot.
got hurt. I actually thought Westbrook played, in certain respects, some of the best basketball of his career last year until Paul George got hurt. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a handful of buckshot, as they used to say. But his overall game, I thought, was basically team-oriented last year, to tell you the truth.
But my point is, I'm actually understanding the thought process between certain people. And some people say James Harden played a bunch of isolation basketball. He's a ball hog. James Harden paced himself and his team to win games. They needed every bit of that streak of 30-point games.
He's a team player.
Exactly. He did what he had to do.
I agree.
Russell Westbrook, and I brought this up on last show, the reason he shot 29% is because he had to sacrifice for Paul George. Keep in mind, Paul George had an MVP caliber year. He had arguably his best year as a professional playing alongside Russell Westbrook. Why? Because the normal shots that Russell Westbrook would take, whether they be three-pointers, layups, getting in rhythm, Russell's making sure he was setting guys up all around the horn, and thus will make James Harden in the Paul George role a better player.
But here's the problem. They're both they're two of the most ball-dominant players who ever lived. In an era where it favors a ball-dominant, ball handler, primary ball handler, they both are stat stuffers only insofar as you're mentioning. Forget about Westbrook grabbing rebounds that belong to Steven Adams or whatever. That doesn't matter. The bottom line is, did your team get the rebound or not, right? Russell Westbrook ain't costing you rebounds. They're both team-oriented players. I agree. Harden plays that way because it's the best interest of the team. And Westbrook believes it's in the best interest of the team for him to play that way. But here's the problem. Westbrook's going to have to be on ball because he can't shoot a lick. Ryan, he can't shoot the ball. He can do everything else, but he can't shoot the ball on offense. So he's got to be the primary ball handler, right? Would you agree? You just said to get Harden the shots.
Actually, I disagree, but for a different reason. I disagree for a different reason. The one thing I actually love about the D'Antoni system is it's still predicated on a 7-second offense. They still want early shots. What do we get on Russell Westbrook for taking early shots? Why did he shoot that? No management, no time and pace and control. Well, the D'Antoni system is based on principles rather than rules. So it's not, hey, man, we're running X, we're running fly, we're running zipper. It's get out and go, get out and run. That's Russell Westbrook basketball. By him knowing where his shots are going to come from, having the comfortability to play off ball, Paul George wasn't the greatest ball handler, not the greatest creator. He's going to be more comfortable. He's going to shoot better from three. So they're going to improve. Here's another element. These two guys couldn't come off the floor, Max. When they got tired, they literally couldn't come out the game to where James Harden would have to be tapping D'Antoni. Get me back in the game. I got to go back in. We're going down by 10. We're going down by 20. I've got to play. We saw this the year before, not necessarily with Paul George, but with Russell Westbrook, where he couldn't come off the floor either. He needed help. So these guys are going to depend on the rest. There's this analytic that says, hey, James Harden was the slowest moving player in the NBA. He and LeBron James, why? He had to pace himself.
Right, but real quick.
On the heels of that point, though, do these two need each other to be successful?
Let me put it this way, to get back to Daryl Morey to answer your question. Daryl Morey knows, like, let's get special players and we'll figure it out later. That's the most important thing. The real issue is CP3 is in decline physically to the point where that contract is a problem. You may say so is Westbrook, but Westbrook is younger and much more athletic. So really what Morey did here was turn CP3 and a little extra into a superior player at this point in their careers. In that sense, they got better. My whole issue is, did they get better enough to overcome the other teams in the West? No, they didn't.
I don't know.
This is a second-round playoff team still. And by the way, not inconceivable they could get knocked out in the first round, but it's a second-round playoff team.
Well, let me ask you this. If you're the Lakers or Clippers, you want to see Houston in the first or second round? Or did you want to see CP3's Houston? You definitely don't want to see Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Over this Houston.
We still, and if we're agreeing with Daryl Morey's point, and this is the way you win in the NBA, you win with stars. Figure it out later. That's what they did. They got a bona fide star in Russell Westbrook.
I mean, everything that's transpired in LA, did the Rockets even have a shot to become better than those two teams?
It was unlikely that they could, because what happened in LA this year was extraordinary. Both the Lakers and the Clippers got so much better immediately that it was unlikely. So it's a point well taken. Westbrook, the whole thing with him, all the hand-wringing we do and the armchair psychology we do about Westbrook, is he a winning player, da-da-da-da-da? Because I've always said, play to play. Play to play. I go from thinking, it's the best player I've ever seen, literally, to you can't win with him. Play to play. And really it comes down to, he doesn't shoot it well enough. If Westbrook had a pure shot, no one would be talking about how many shots he took.
What if he had a pure coach?
Well, time will tell now.
And I'm not getting on Billy D, but him and Billy D, they ain't mixed.
Right. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.